Hey, everybody. Stag, where did you go? Come on back. We're waiting on Stag. But hey, everybody, welcome to the Proud Mary podcast. I am one of your hosts, Monique J, aka Let's Be Honest, and my co host, 92 Stag. We somehow had a technical error, so she dropped down. But she will be back and we will be bringing her back up. But while we're waiting on her to call back in, I need you guys to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell in order to be notified when we are live again, so that you can make sure that you catch all of the information, hot topics, the political news, everything that we're going to give you. And here she goes, Miss 92 Stag. Welcome up. Hey, sister, how are you today?
Hey, hey. It's a whole lot to talk about today, ain't it, girl?
Yes, yes, it is. I can't wait. I can't wait. So, what we're going to do is not hesitate any longer. We are going to go ahead and get started with our first topic. And of course, we know it is Let's Talk Politics. We ready? So much has been going on in the political spectrum, and we are ready to go. Stag, go ahead. What you got?
First we have the fact that Tim Walz, Keith Ellison, who is the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, and the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, have been subpoenaed by one county, right into Minnesota yesterday. So she's boots on the ground to see what is with the ICE agents, and he also held a press conference where he showed photos of the many
Stag, you
criminals
you
that
you
they
froze
targeted.
for a minute. You froze for a minute. So if you can start from the beginning of your segment, because you had stopped right at the beginning.
Oh, wow. I remember.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to tell you, sit here froze, girl. Okay.
Okay. So in Minnesota, the news, well, did you want me to save that for when we get to that? What's going on in Minnesota? Is that politics?
No, that's politics. Go ahead. That's politics.
Okay. So Governor Tim Walz, the mayor Jacob Fry, and the Attorney General Keith Ellison have all been served subpoenas from a Miss Pam Bondi, who took a flight into Minneapolis. I guess that she served them personally herself, but she was boots on the ground in Minneapolis to see what is going on. And Mr. Bovine, who is the head of the ICE, has been on the ground with the ICE agents, and he also held a press conference where he showed photos of the many criminals that they have captured in Minneapolis, or Minnesota. 10,000. They've taken 10,000 criminals off the streets of Minneapolis alone. And he showed their pictures and talked about what, charges that they had or prior convictions, because a lot of them had convictions from their previous countries that they ran from, right? So um, that's one thing there. We
Can you guys hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you guys hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you guys hear us? Can you hear us? All right. We see you can hear us. I'm waiting on Stag to get back. Let's see. Come back in, Stag. Call back in. You froze. So yeah, anyway, what she was definitely about to be talking about, and we're going to touch in on, is on the fact of how Tim Walz, Keith Ellison, I think Jacob Fry as well, has been subpoenaed by the Department of Justice for one thing. I know it's definitely because of the interference and the promotion of supporting these people for being deterrents and getting on the nerve of ICE. And we know that as political leaders, as leaders of the city, as leaders of the state, they should not be a part of the chaos that they should be trying to stop. So we definitely want to pull up some information on that. I'm gonna, let's see it, get her on. Give us a second. We got so much stuff going on, you guys. If while you're watching, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you have not yet shared it out to your friends and family, please make sure that you share it out. Tap, tap, tap if you're not tapping, and please join the conversation as well. We are going to, as well as, we're going to pin your ability to join us if you want to join our conversation a little later in the day. We're not going to be long today because my beautiful co-host has a hold on, she has another show she's going to be on today at 8 o'clock on TikTok. So I'm definitely going to share that with you guys, allow you guys to see that from her as well. Let's see, here she comes. So we're gonna try to get in as much as we can get in for you guys before she heads over to her other show that you all want to watch. But go ahead, Stag. I'm not sure what happened. You Tim, I kind of piggybacked off what you said that Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, and Keith Ellison have been served subpoenas by the Department of Justice. And go.
Mhm. Um, I just wanted to know, what is the Attorney General Keith Ellison? What has he been doing? You have all of this fraud. According to the president, it's like at the low end, he's 17 billion. And then you have all of these elite criminals running around. Because Bovine, I don't know if you heard me when I said it, he did a press conference where he showed the pictures of some of the criminals they've taken off of the streets in Minnesota. And so far, they have arrested 10,000 criminals, illegal criminals. Like, what has the Attorney General been doing? And he
Making sure
showed
his
their
son
pictures
still get
of
paid
the
while his
crime.
son going to college and getting paid as a council person or whatever he doing and ain't doing his job.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. But did you get to hear Davos speech?
Whose speech?
Trump Davos speech. Did you get to
Oh,
listen
I
to it?
I I heard. I did hear. I say maybe 15, 20 minutes of it. Then things started getting hectic. I heard him, basically telling what he was doing. He did make a statement that he would not take Greenland by military force or something like that. I did hear that as well. But what's your take on it?
But what they're saying is, okay, so this is what I got from uh I don't know his name, Lutnick, right? Commerce Secretary. Um, he spoke with some of the leaders there in Davos. And so Scott Bassett also talked about Greenland. And what Scott Bassett said was that this is about Western Hemisphere security. And right now, because we are the hottest country in the world, we're using our strength, our economic strength, in order to put pressure on Greenland. He used that word, but basically that's what they're doing, pressure on them to concede to us. Uh, Basically, hopefully they'll see the light, right? Because Trump is looking the future strategically at Greenland and thinking of the future. And this is what Scott Bassett said. He said that the U.S. will not outsource its national security to anybody, right? Basically, we're not going to depend on somebody else to secure us over here in this Western hemisphere, right? Because then we have to depend on somebody else for security. Then that means that we have to, in a sense, they have leverage over us, right? So he's saying that it would be easier if the United States owned Greenland, if it belonged to the United States, because nobody would dare mess with it because it belongs to the United States. He also said that Trump is basically avoiding a war, right? Because he's saying that, again, if we own it, we don't have to worry about anybody trying to commandeer it, attack it, right? Because we not big. Now, there ain't nobody gonna mess with us. Okay. So he said that, and he doesn't want the American people to be into a war. So if we don't own it, somebody else owns it, or like I told you yesterday, Russia don't let anybody own it. Said that Greenland don't belong to Denmark. So if they decide to move in on them, they don't have to come for their security because they can't secure themselves. Denmark can't secure Greenland, so we still don't have to get involved in a war to defend it and protect it, and it would be us, right? So he's trying to prevent that. He doesn't want us to be drugged into a war, and he thinks that it's safer that if we own it because we won't nobody mess with it. And Nick said that basically we're not not going. I know that we have. They saying that we have. Excuse me, y'all. That we have like a military installation or whatever we got up there, right? But we're not gonna put what we could put there because it don't belong to us. Doesn't belong to us, so we're not going to put the kind of defenses there that we could put there because it's not our stuff, right? So if it was ours, we could fully fortify and defend it because it's ours, right? We could invest in the defense of it, and we're going to be getting that golden dome, and that's going to be a lot of money, and that's going to protect the whole Western Hemisphere. And so I think that when we putting up all of the money for the security of the region and are dependent on us for finances and stuff, I think that they need to let us secure it the way that we see fit, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
is it about who has it, or is it if we're all a team, right? And why does Europe own shit that's sorry? Why does Europe own stuff that's over here in our hemisphere? Belong to us anyway. That's it. And for those of y'all who scared because the media's been up them headlines that NATO is sending troops to Greenland and all of that because the media is very honest. Collectively, all of the other nations sent 34 troops. That's all they got. So also, I'll get into that other thing, but that's what he had to say about Greenland. It's about future security and war because
Mm-hmm.
some of y'all may need to look at a map and see how close Russia is off of
I
Greenland.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I don't think. I don't think that they are. A lot of people are talking mess, and they're just talking from the standpoint of they don't really like the president, and that's really it. Is nothing more to be said. They don't like the president, and because they don't like the president, they're not willing to hear what's best for our country, what's going to be best for our country, or anything. And for me, what's really crazy about that is that they call themselves American citizens. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the part that I don't get. They want to come from as if it was their friends and family, and it wasn't the government and us going against all of these other countries in the world. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
it's,
because
it's strange.
when it comes to NATO, because they also like always say we need our allies, really don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I heard somebody say they're not sharing intelligence with us. We didn't need their intelligence. Nothing we've done have we needed their intelligence for, because we have our own intelligence. We're sophisticated. We don't need them. They need us. And every Trump told them because they're trying to operate like they are singular,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then when they get into trouble, they expect the United States to come. Trump told them to not build that Nord Stream pipeline, stop getting their gas from Russia. And they did anyway. They laughed at him because y'all was like, they laughed at him. That's why they laughed at him because he told them that they to stop getting the gas from Russia. because that money is helping to fuel the war in Ukraine. It's helping Russia to be able to do what it's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you our ally? We have some of our troops in your country to defend you against Russia, but then you doing business with Russia. What sense does that make?
Yeah.
And not just regular business. You are dependent on a resource from them. You're dependent on Russia, right? And another thing that Lutnick said, that Europe, he said Europe is trying to go zero emissions by 2030,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't even make a dollar. So that would make them need China.
Yep.
And then when China do something, then what does that do? It tricks the United States into something where you should have just made decisions in the beginning, right? So you can't need us for defense, need us for money, equipment, and all of these things, and not listen to us when we tell you how to best move as far as security.
Yeah, I
To not
feel like
drag us into y'all BS. Hmm?
they they are so used to, just as long as I've been living, I have not really seen, I'm just being honest, I haven't seen a lot of our presidents exuding strength, right? I feel like
Hmm.
we work so hard to be diplomatic that we have allowed people to run over us. And I think that is why the people like feel like they can just say something to us, and if it makes sense, or if it kind of makes sense, or if it makes us look bad, or because we're choosing what's best for the sake of our country over what's best for other people, they feel like we're going to say, oh, okay, yeah, we don't want to look like that, and so then we're going to just allow things to happen. And I feel like we have for so, for so long. We have not been making, like, I'm gonna be honest, the last 4 years, the previous 4 years, I don't really know what the hell was happening. I don't.
Nobody did.
Yeah, I don't know what decisions was kind of being made. I don't know what the reasoning behind decisions were. I don't see most of the decisions ever being for the benefit of the United States. And if I'm
Hmm.
wrong, hey, I'm open to hearing that I am, but I haven't seen any. I kind of been seeing us being some punks.
Hmm. And that's another thing that he said was, I forget what what China had did, when the trade thing was going back and forth with us, them,
Mm-hmm.
that day Trump put the 100% tariff on them. You remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Scott Bassett was saying that's what made China pick up the phone and want to negotiate. And he said, we didn't negotiate for the United States, we negotiated on behalf of the world. So he's not just looking out for the United States, he's looking out for the safety and security of the world, but most importantly, the American people. So he's putting us in strategic places. It will prevent us from being vulnerable to attacks later because of moves that our adversaries are making, right? I think y'all seem to think that because China ain't moving around with their military and going into countries, and that they sit around twiddling their thumbs. No, they're making moves. But the reason they don't go in with their military like we do is because they can't. And y'all
Mm-hmm.
still haven't figured that out. They can't do what the United States does. So what they do is they go in and they sneakily go in and they make these deals with these nations and they use money. When they're having trouble, they go in money, and then when they can't pay money back, guess what? They owe China. And you know what China wants? Influence and
Mm-hmm.
position.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. That's what Russia want. Influence and position.
Yeah.
We can't allow that. We may not be, on the verge of a war right now, but if it happens, we need to make sure that we have the most strategic places to secure our safety.
No, I agree. I agree. So, I don't know. Did you see our thumbnail for today?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
yes,
got it.
I did. I did. I did. Was it? Well, You talking about where it has the title of what the show is?
No, no. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. You're gonna fall out. It is, and I want you because I want you to go to your girl. I want you to talk about your girl Fanny, of course, Fani,
Oh,
whatever
and I
her name.
also breaking news though on this. Right before we came in to the podcast,
Uh huh.
Trump, I saw a tweet from Trump. Greenland is ready to make a deal with the United States over Greenland.
Oh, okay. Let's see. You want to pull up? So what did you hear? I'll try to pull up something real quick. Hold
It's
on. What you?
Truth Social. It's on Truth Social.
Okay. He Trump said it, or he put it on his True Social.
Trump, Trump. Yep.
Okay.
If I can send you the screenshot that
Let's see, because
I'm kicking myself out of here.
we like to give breaking information. I got you, sister. All right,
I
let's see.
can't.
Hold on, I got it, sis. You know me. Just take me a couple seconds, and we gonna pull this on. Okay, let's see what we got.
And his introduction in Davos, you talking about some people over him, they said these talks would be incomplete without the most important leader in the world, President
Okay,
Donald J.
hold on. Let's get it, sister. Let's get it. Um, Screen share. All right. So it says. This is from Truth Social. It says, based on upon a very productive meeting that I've had with Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. Additional discussions are being held concerning the Golden Dome as it pertains to Greenland. Further information will be made available as discussions progress. Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and various others as needed will be responsible for the negotiations. They will report directly to me. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of these here United States of America.
Now, do you see what Dante put in there? And see, and it's because y'all are thinking in the old way of things being done, and you obviously weren't listening to anything that I said. They're not going to have a choice. Denmark cannot defend Greenland. Okay. And whatever it costs for Greenland to leave, if they owe Denmark money and that's why they stay in there, the United States can pay that and get them. We give them whatever they think they owe. But we don't need to go in between to, for defense and stuff. And like I said, we could invest more equipment there if it belonged to us.
Yeah,
We're not putting, it's like if you rent a house, you may do a little bit of, upgrades and stuff, but you're not about to put that rental house, which you would put in a house you own.
yeah, you most definitely not. I mean, I know I'm not. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do nothing that can be permanent. I'm not gonna do nothing that is gonna, that would be something that I would invest in permanently. But then somebody can end up snatching it away, or the people can change them. I have no ownership in it. Period.
You have not been paying attention, Deontay. Anyway, I can't argue.
Right, right. Thank
So
you for
she
being here, though.
also
Everybody who was here, make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, please share. If you would like to come up in any of our topics that we are on and join the conversation, we pinned the link in order for you to click and come up. If you want to do that. If not, we're going to continue, of course, to go on with our topics for today without a problem. All right, go ahead, Stan. Keep going. So this is a good thing.
oh,
Now
she,
you know the people are gonna say, "Oh, we ain't heard this from Greenland. We don't know if this is true." All the things that they end up saying in regards to when Trump announces something. So we'll see.
well, if this doesn't happen, the pressure that we use is tariffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have the leverage. Like who do y'all think we are? We have all the leverage. Europe ain't got nothing we need.
They think you a
We
punk.
have everything they need.
You heard me? They think we some punks, and they and that's really it. It's nothing more you can say. They want. Well, I like we said this the last episode. Like I've never seen um people that are a part of a country or a part of a team rooting for it to lose.
I shrunk.
You shrunk? Oh, oh,
Yeah, I
oh,
accidentally tear down.
oh, hold on. I'm trying to.
Um, yeah, y'all gotta remember who we are and what our power is. And that's basically what
Mm-hmm.
Scott Percent was saying was that we have the power right now. We're using the peace through strength, right? We
Mm-hmm.
avoid war, we avoid conflict with our strength. We have the power to manipulate the world right now, to make it bend to our will.
You see my picture?
Yes. So, oh, Fanny. So, did you understand what they were saying about why she could be there? There's a case for her to be disbarred.
No, no. Explain it to me, guys. I know. I just heard you. I
So,
kind of looked into it, but no.
there was a law. I should have looked it up, and so I could have had it read. But I was listening to Ashley Merchant. You remember the attorney
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
grilled her? Yeah. She said that there was a law she was reading, and basically, um, it's kind of like an egregious thing for a prosecutor to bring charges against somebody and will bring a case against somebody. There's nothing there. There's no there, and
Mm-hmm.
they know it, right? To know that there's no there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically it. Because how many times have said her indictment was a joke, right? So with all of the other legal things that she's caught up in, because her corruption is showing, corruption slip
Mm-hmm.
is showing, and nobody is telling her her slip is showing. And those who are saying your slip is showing, she's like, "Leave me alone, quit talking to me,"
Yeah,
and walking around in
that's
the
her.
field. Yeah, the it's all, and I don't, and of course people on the left don't know how horrible of a prosecutor she has been exposed to be. This person that y'all was cheering on and thought was gonna take down Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
her whole office seems to be incompetent, incompetent and corrupt, and that the reason why it's like they just there for corruption. They're using their position for corruption. She had one of these RICO cases, and you have a RICO case, you get more money in your budget, right? More money
Mm-hmm.
for RICO cases. And yeah, she probably, looks, it appears that she was mismanaging all that money. And then it looks like they've been stealing people's property and not giving the money to the county, but for their own personal gain.
Well, yeah,
So
for
she, you know what I'm saying?
$10,000 fans. That's what she been stealing
Mm-hmm.
for. Trying to take these wealthy people money, whether how they got their wealth the right way, whatever way she don't like it, and she been stealing folks money, and then
Mm-hmm.
trying to be look what the word they use, like the Gestapo. She been being the Gestapo just just
Right.
from behind the, I guess, the bench or the table, doing it under the guise that she's
Yeah.
the district
She's
attorney.
a district attorney. She's strong
Mm-hmm.
arming people, and she's really using her power to really rob people. She
Mm-hmm.
is so corrupt. And to go after enemies and stuff because they probably don't know this, but there was another case, somebody else that she tried to charge in that whole election, and it was a lieutenant governor. No, he was a state senator, and he was running for lieutenant governor, and she charged him with the whole election thing. It was a separate case; it wasn't part of the real case.
Mm-hmm.
But while she bringing this case against this man, she was fundraising for his opponent.
Wait. She was taking money from him and fundraising for his opponent.
No, 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 no. This man was running for lieutenant governor,
Mm-hmm.
Fani case against him, but was fundraising for his opponent.
Oh hell! I mean, heck,
It
no.
appears that she was just trying to lock up the person that was running against the person
Right. So
she
to
wanted.
ensure that the dude she wanted to win could win.
Yeah, the judge chewed her over it and was like, "This is like you couldn't have thought this was okay," and he dismissed her from that case. This is an incompetent person.
And what's funny to me is this is the same person that everybody was literally laying their hat on about proving that what she was saying or what they were
Mhm,
saying was being done by the Trump administration in Georgia, and taking their word for it. And what bothers me is because between her, Letitia James, what's who the other, just even most of these little small little district judges around here, it is absolutely evident, obvious that their issue has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has to do with hating Donald Trump. And
mhm,
they are doing wrong. Not only that, they are now, supporting or now silent about all the wrong that's being done by the other side, and then want to blame him when he's actually prosecuting people for actually breaking the law and doing things and saying, "Oh, he's just
mhm.
doing this against his political opponent." I don't care if it's a political opponent or not. If what they did is illegal, they should be prosecuted, and I don't care who it is.
And also because of this
Ain't Tyrese?
incompetence, because of this incompetence, right? Now her county is going to lose millions of dollars from her budget. And they were already saying it wasn't enough that she got a backlog in Fulton County Jail that is so long because she's been wasting her time and resources on these high profile RICO cases. That is people who sitting in the county jail. County jail is not full of hardened criminals. The county jail got people in there for traffic tickets,
That
right?
Fulton County, they said it's so horrible. It's worse than the regular prison.
Yeah, but it's all kind of like they in there for small civil infractions. I like to say about these illegals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Civil infractions, not even criminal stuff, right? And they haven't been able to see a judge to get a hearing, a trial, so they can get life.
Yeah.
She is incompetent and corrupt.
But she black, and y'all just trying to break a sister down. That's what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to bring a sister down. Y'all got a problem with intelligent, successful black women. When they start climbing the ladder, y'all always trying to bring them down.
Mm. So go ahead. There was another thing that Scott was said they touched on, which was
Mm-hmm.
the investigation into Jerome Powell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she asked him, I took a few notes on it. Very interesting it was for me anyway. And I would ask this question because they started out talking about, how they like to make it seem like Trump is trying to take control of the Federal Reserve. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would ask the question, should the Fed take into account a president's economic plan when making decisions, as well as, the usual markers that they use, but take into account the economic plan that they have and see if that plan is going to make decisions according to the plan and agenda that's on, right? That's what I would tell you to ask yourself, because otherwise, what good is a president's economic plan if the Fed is not working with them to help achieve that plan?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask because as much as I've been researching this and everybody's like, oh, they're separate from the government. Is their role supposed to? Are they supposed to consider these kind of things, or are they just supposed to do their job?
Nobody knows because nobody was really paying attention. And if they were operating, I think they were operating politically because they wanted to. Jerome Powell is a smart monkey. Okay, so these were the remarks from Opposite, right? He said Fed should remain independent, right? But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that they have no oversight. So then I would ask you, who keeps the Fed accountable?
Do we know who does?
Right, who keeps the Fed accountable? And then he said, when you print your own money, right, a little
Mm-hmm.
sunlight is good. When you just print money, it's somebody needs to, you need to be accountable to somebody, you need to answer questions to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the question then becomes, why are they investigating him? Well, Scott Bessent said they called for Jerome Powell doing his own internal investigation, but he didn't take heed to that. So, and he also made the statement that if the Department of Justice has questions for him, then he's going to answer them, right? So again, I ask you, well, who holds the Fed accountable? And they can sink us, right? They print
Mm-hmm.
our money.
Yeah.
So
I'm
who
sorry.
holds accountable when they're not making the decisions that are in the best interest of the country?
That is true.
Who does that? And then
Because if the president
the
do it,
last thing
especially
that
if
I'll
it's
say,
this one, they saying that he just mad because his economy's doing bad and he trying to make him help him. So yeah, who does hold him accountable?
well, I would encourage everybody to go and look at Scott Bessent on Foundation because he absolutely answered those questions. But this is the last thing that I'll say that he said was two more things. He said bringing in some sunlight is not coercion, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
transparency, really. That was my saying, it is transparency. But lawmakers are threatening to stop the investigations. Why? Why don't they want to know what the Fed is up to? The Federal, why don't they want to know?
Well, one of two reasons that is because they getting some out the deal or they dislike this president so much that they don't want, because a lot of everything that he stood firm on or everything that they tried to say was wrong or he was doing, they've been proven wrong on it. And I think they're tired of taking losses, so what they'll do is just shut stuff down so that they don't have to take a loss and it doesn't have to be proven that all of the hoopla they've been saying ain't true.
Mm, it's
Cause that's
crazy.
like that's like when you ask the question, and of course we'll go. Let's go ahead and go into law. This is gonna go directly into what you were saying. Let's talk law a little bit now. You were talking about, we're gonna definitely go on ice, right? And you were
Mm-hmm.
you were mentioning how everyone, especially in Minnesota and places like Minnesota and California, where they're protesting against ICE and saying how the things that they're doing is so inhumane and blah 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 blah. How if the law would have been functioning like it's supposed to, which means when these people have been accosted, arrested for whatever reason, and there's an ICE detainer, right? They know that they should contact
Mm-hmm.
ICE to come and get them. So
Mm-hmm.
if they decide to release the person for whatever it is they decide, at this point they arrested them, they're a criminal, they know there's a detainer for them. Why aren't they notifying ICE? Is that not against the law?
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think that that would be against the law? And why we don't have a problem with it?
It's not against the law. It's not against the law for them to detain them until ICE come, right? Um, and I would ask any American citizen who thinks that that it's okay that they wouldn't detain an illegal, because it means committed a crime if they in jail, right?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
committed some crime that they're in jail. Why are you advocating for or okay with your government treating illegal criminals better than you, an American citizen? Because if
Mhm.
I'm in a jail in any county or municipality, I'm in a jail and I get a bond and all of that, and even if I bond out of that jail, if there's another jurisdiction, county, municipality that got a warrant for me,
Yep.
that jail has me, I bet you any amount of money they gonna hold me at that other county come pick me up. They are not gonna release me before they get there.
Yeah, we see
So
it happen all the
why
time.
would you think that it is okay? Why would you think that it is okay that they are giving special treatment to somebody who broke in the country and then once here has committed a crime because they're in jail?
You ain't asking me because I I know tons of people who have got arrested in one county. They may have a warrant in another county. They hold them people to that other county, come pick them up, for whatever reason. So I don't think it makes sense. Only reason they're doing it is to literally like spit in the face of the current administration. That's all it's about.
Mhm. And that you should question that they would put the safety of the community, because every day Democrats get up there and talking about how concerned they are about the community safety, the safety of the community and their residents, right? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
can't think of anything more dangerous than letting violent criminals back out on the street and
Uh,
not just letting them be deported out of the country and then making it the federal government has to go into the community and hunt down these criminals where now they have a possibility of encountering them with a weapon or anything, because if they in the jail, it's safe and easy for everybody. They ain't got no weapons in there. ICE come get them, put cuffs on them, put them in the back truck and take them on where they take them at to deport them. If you
mm-hmm.
didn't release them out, now we have to spend even more money and resources as well to go and hunt down in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
when
then
they encounter them, we don't know what they're doing. And then now you've added these radical nut jobs out there that are making it even more unsafe for them.
you know
It's
it's
crazy.
funny because then they complain about how much additional money has been allocated to ICE, but not realizing it wouldn't have to be allocated if you guys would stay your butts at home or protest peacefully like you're supposed to, so that they wouldn't feel threatened or wouldn't feel in danger, and then it wouldn't have to be more ICE agents
To
added.
have all of these extra
Yeah,
resources. Yeah,
yeah,
and not just that, Mo, but if they would detain them at the jail, it would take two ICE agents to go in the jail and get
yep,
them. But
yep.
not only go and hunt them down, but they got people shooting them. They got people ram cars into them. So they need and more resources and manpower
Mm-hmm.
to deal with what's going into these cities. Y'all are actually the ones causing this
Yeah,
problem. You're
causing
the
it to,
reason why
yeah.
it's visible.
They are the ones that's actually causing. It's like you complaining about something that you play a part in why it's actually happening. So it's stupid, but
Well,
you know,
Democrats do that all the time. Always cause the problem and then complain about the problem that they created.
yep. All right, this is your
Mm,
next subject you sent to me. I figured you wanted to talk about. It is Congress releases massive funding bill ahead of shutdown deadline as ICE clash looms. Have you read what that funding bill is?
I did not, because I just saw it before I sent it to you, but I kind of skimmed over the article, and
Okay,
basically it's them they trying to do all of the funding for the government in that bill just in case Democrats try to shut down the
shut
government, because
down.
they already saying that they not signing on to the bill unless it's reforms to ICE and all of this stuff. But they don't want to negotiate on reforms to ACA. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah. Well,
they.
Well, it says congressional negotiators in both parties released a massive bill Tuesday aimed at fully funding the government ahead of a shutdown deadline on January 30th. This is a 159-page bipartisan bill. It includes money for the Department of Defense, Labor, Health and Human Services, and Homeland Security. And it would reduce the chances of another funding lapse after the longest shutdown in the U.S. history this last fall. So what this says to me and you, who are people who like to research, we finna have to go look and see what this 1,059 pages say. Cause what I do know, I've been living long enough to know that when they done listed these 5 things, but I can promise you, it's some stuff thrown in there in the back or somewhere underneath and hidden that don't got nothing to do, don't have nothing to do with nothing that we've been arguing about, but it's gonna benefit somebody on one of them sides. Now we will see, because what you need 1,059 pages for to just do Department of Defense, Labor, Health and Human Services, and Homeland Security.
There you go. There you go.
So I hate that they
The
did not give us the bill number, but we will find it and I will be deep diving to see what's going on. But it's good to know that
of
they're trying
course.
to avoid. So here's my thing. So if they do pass this, but all of the rest of the appropriations bills aren't finished yet, are they saying this will avoid them shutting down? And then they still gonna be taking time to pass the rest of these appropriation bills? Because this right here is what, four or
No,
five?
I believe that maybe those are all of the appropriations in that bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Okay.
I think. I think they just put it all in one bill and they can just vote on it.
But we
Because
still don't
Democrats
technically
are
have
not
a budget.
cooperating. Yeah, Democrats aren't cooperating. It's
This
just
is
appropriations, which is mean it's just how much money they gonna put where. That's it.
right.
And
Right.
for what? That's
Stupid.
it. So are we gonna move on to the
What?
Don Lemon?
Ha, yes. What do I think I had? You can go ahead. I'm gonna take this off. You can go ahead and talk about it. I'm gonna pull up a little screen image of him going in this church and them going in this church. What are you? Because we ain't even had a chance to talk about that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it was very disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I don't care what, because this is all over political ideology. They
Mm-hmm.
don't agree, and this is the left, and y'all don't see what y'all are, right? Y'all are domestic terrorists.
Yep.
You are domestic terrorists, you're bullies, and you're like children. Because if you don't get your way, you have a fit. And because
Mm-hmm.
you don't agree with the policy
Yes,
and
sir.
remind you that it's policy that people voted for,
Mm-hmm.
you think that gives you the right to infringe on other people's rights and disrespect them and commit violent acts against them and intimidate them. You think that it's you y'all are a bunch of narcissists.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Yep. Yep.
You're a bunch
Let's.
of narcissists because how dare you, because
How
you
dare
don't
you?
agree with ICE, that you would go in and think that you
Somebody
would think that it
church.
is even okay to go into a church in the middle of worship service for other Americans and violate their First Amendment right while saying you have your First Amendment right to do it. You don't get to infringe on other people's rights in the exercise of your right. You
Well,
don't get to do that. You don't get to decide that your right is more important than the next person's simply because you said so. Y'all
that's
are
what's
disgusting for that.
they don't like authoritarianism. They don't like dictatorship, but then they want to move like it's only what they want that is right.
Authoritarian.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
let's see.
Yeah.
This is the latest update on it since 21 hours. It says, hold on. Can you hear anything?
No,
Okay, hold on. I had, I had
you
to
have to
make sure.
mute, I think.
Yeah, I got to mute. All right. Tell me if you can hear once I get started. Go ahead.
Our top story tonight,
Oh, yeah.
DHS Secretary Kristi
Yeah.
Noem announcing arrests are coming any moment now related to an anti-ICE protest inside a St. Paul church on Sunday.
This as church's lead pastor responds as well, and protest organizers double down on their reason for being there. Our So Young Kim has been following this story for us all day long. And So Young, you spoke with the protest organizers today. What did they say about the federal investigation now?
They tell us they stand by their actions. Now they're calling for the resignation of the pastor they allege works for ICE. This was the scene inside City's church in St. Paul Sunday when a group of demonstrators interrupted a worship gathering. Organizers say they were protesting the church's possible connection with ICE.
It was brought to our attention that a pastor at this church was a regional field director for ICE. And because all four of us are Christian, that was quite disturbing, like to our spirit.
The lead pastor of City's church releasing this statement Tuesday that reads in part, quote, on Sunday, January 18th, a group of agitators jarringly disrupted our worship gathering. They accosted members of our congregation, frightened children, and created a scene marked by intimidation and threat. Such conduct is shameful, unlawful, and will not be tolerated. The U.S. Department of Justice is investigating whether the protesters violated the federal FACE Act that protects religious freedom in places of worship. When asked about it, organizers dismissed the potential probe.
Instead of these issues being addressed, what do we get from the federal government? Threats of investigating those of us who were involved in a peaceful demonstration at City's church.
We came in peace. And there's not a person in there was blocked from exiting. If they needed to leave, they could leave.
A spokesperson for St. Paul Police says officers responded Sunday morning and there's an active disorderly conduct investigation.
Oh, okay. You gonna go first? You gonna go first, or can I please? Or can I go first on this?
Okay, so for those who know, the FACE Act is 18 U.S.C. Section 248 of the FACE Act. It's called the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act of 1994, signed into law by Bill Clinton. And it's a federal law making it a crime to use force, threat, or physical obstruction to stop people from obtaining or providing reproductive health services or exercising religious freedom at a place of worship.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they may be guilty of violating the Klan Act. How fitting for the Democratic Party. And there are two Klan, as you know, of 1870, but specifically the one of 1871, because then it was it broadened federal power, making it a federal crime to deprive anyone of their constitutional rights. And when you obstruct people from worshiping freely, I don't care what your reasoning is, then you are violating their constitutional right. And you prevent them from exercising their religious freedom at a place of worship, because many people, I think they were in the middle of prayer at the time, and you came in and you interrupted that.
I'm just trying.
Interrupted the sermon that the pastor was probably going to be giving, the songs that they were going to be singing, because of the chaos that you brought into their place of worship. Y'all are disgusting.
I was going to say this. First of all, if they don't go to the church, they don't have no right to say what that man could, what his job could be, what he support, whatever it is. You don't go there, you don't have a right to say anything. And y'all walked up in there because you know the representation or the reputation of generally, Christian churches. A lot of times they just, have more humble, calmer people at the door, and you could do that. Because I can guarantee you, and if he would have been saying they wouldn't have walked their butt up in no mosque. They wouldn't have walked their butt up in no Kingdom Hall. They wouldn't have walked their butt up in nowhere that they know is generally don't play that, right? They did that. That was very
Mm-hmm.
ignorant. And then I realized, which I don't know if you noticed this, because we keep saying this ain't a black, this has nothing to do with black people, this ain't nothing to black people. But you see, they ironically want to make sure that the people they talking to in this, even in this interview, is black. And for both of them two, I'm gonna call y'all what
Mm-hmm.
y'all are. You two stupid black women who sat up there and said that you have a right, the people, you wasn't stopping people from going nowhere. You wasn't supposed to be there. Yo, but you look like you over 60. And you know good and well you should not have been in there. If somebody walked up in your church and tried to tell them based on what the pastor job is, and they don't even go to the church over some illegal immigrants who are criminals, yeah, they good and
Mm-hmm.
lucky. They good and lucky. That wasn't my church. Because I can promise you, sitting there looking at them like they crazy, God would have gave me the strength that I needed to have to end up knocking and smacking and doing whatever. And if the police didn't show up to come and get them out of there, then it's gonna be a problem. The guy, you didn't see the white
Mm-hmm.
guy that she got standing behind me. I heard the whole press conference. This man had the nerve to quote Huey Newton while he was talking about why he's supposed to be in this doggone church. And about what ICE is doing. They wasn't ICE, that's a church. Them every last person who was had they butt in that did that in that church, I feel bad for the wrath that is going to come down on you.
Mm-hmm.
ICE, the DOJ, the police don't have to do nothing to you. God punishes people way worse than any of that. So when your life and your stuff start going bad, you're going to understand why, because that was horrible. That was horrible. There is no excuse for it at all. I don't care what you don't like. You stand outside and protest outside of that church. You don't go in them people's church.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm
not just
sorry.
that, but this the children, did you see the children that were like confused?
No, I didn't see. I'm just mad.
They were confused. Like there was mothers like trying to usher their children out of the sanctuary because
Oh.
they were just like and you also have to take into the fact that we're in a day and age where people come into churches and they come in and do harm to people. Like, are y'all forgetting about church shootings and stuff
Mm-hmm.
already?
The
And
one
y'all
when that
coming in
guy
doing that
came,
kind of
sat
stuff.
in there and prayed
And
for
not
them
just
black
that,
people. Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, it's just like y'all are narcissists. Y'all think the world revolves around y'all, and y'all are just complete
Feelings.
narcissists.
Look, we done got bad. This done
Disgusting.
made us bad. Cause I can't. Then the one with the braids, she's standing there talking like she really has some authority to say what she was saying. Like, shut up. And I hope she see this podcast. Cause I said it. Shut up.
Those Democrats is gonna have them in their asses
In
in
jail
jail.
and in the
That's what's gonna
casket.
happen. And John
Mm-hmm.
Lemon gonna be right with him with his lying self, talking about he didn't know that they were going to up and he wasn't a part of the group and he wasn't aware. Well, you knew where they were going when they got there,
You
and
was
you
in there
still went
putting
inside.
microphones in the past the face, so you knew what was going
Yes,
on.
and the pastor had asked you to leave. So at that point, you were trespassing.
Yep.
I mean, disgusting. He is a clown. He is an embarrassment. I just can't. I can't. I
It
cannot.
says they're pursuing charges against him too. Ugly self.
Hmm.
Now he talking about he didn't
He
know
ought
what they was
to.
going he didn't know what they was gonna do, but he's sitting there with his little TikTok mic trying to interview somebody in somebody else's
He was
church while they
dancing
in
with him
worship
before.
service.
I saw a video of him dancing with him before they went into the church. And then he was, remember the part where he was up there talking about, yeah, we're gonna go in and I
Well,
don't know
you
exactly
holding
where
your
we're
TikTok
going.
mic.
Yeah, we're gonna turn the mic. We're gonna turn the microphones off because they're saying some stuff that we don't want it to get out. And so, like he just, he's disgusting. He is disgusting
Look at him. I mean, I just can't understand. And why they all look crazy.
because they are crazy. A bunch of them people be on drugs and out. They just they ain't got their right mind and they crazy. Got mental health issues. That's what the left be using.
Did you hear about did you see they argument, him and Nikki?
Yeah, I think you covered it on the panel, didn't you? When you talking about it?
I don't know. Ooh, she didn't call them up. Ooh, okay.
What
She
she call him?
she said openly. She said, Don Seal cocksucking Lemmon. She labeled him disgusting. She said, "How dare
Mm-hmm.
you? How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up." And look at him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. You see a tweet?
Mm-mm. Disgusting. Disgusting that they think that it's okay to do that over political disagreements and policy. Like, what makes them think that like I said, they are bullies, right?
Oh,
If they don't win and they don't get there, if Democrats are not the ones in power, the whole presidency is nothing but them having a fucking tantrum. I'm sorry, having a tantrum
it's
because
okay. You can say that.
it got me bad.
Oh, look at.
Having a tantrum.
This is some good news. Some news we can use. You know, we try to show different little stuff. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Cop flaw. She was being beaten by ex-boyfriend. She said, "Ooh."
Go ahead, Baron.
Hmm. He take after his daddy. Remember, he helped that person being mugged in the streets. Got out his car.
Oh, and he wasn't even there. He was on the FaceTime with her.
Oh, oh, that's the Trump's next project.
Oh,
Battered women.
she's jealous. The guy's jealous of her having a friendship with Baron.
Mm,
Mm.
I bet he is.
Right.
I bet he is.
I
Six
bet
foot
he is too.
nine, billionaire kid.
Right. And he seemed real chill. He's super chill. He seems so unbothered.
And the president's son. Come on now,
Yeah.
what that boy gonna do? So I
Yeah.
also want to tell you that there is a representative Emmer, and he introduced a bill to denaturalize citizens convicted of fraud,
Yes, I was
and
just talking about that today. Yep, I was just talking about
it's
that
called
today.
the Scam Act.
He couldn't be no more obvious. I actually like it though. Go ahead, go. You bet
It
what you
says,
did. We gonna pass the scam back, you little scammers. Get on. But
it
I
says,
feel like you don't appreciate being in this country. If you did, you need. If don't nobody walk a straight and narrow, you need to.
yep. It says it is to Stop Citizenship Abuse and Misrepresentation Act, and though it would affect those convicted of fraud, terror affiliations, drug cartel connections, espionage, and aggravated felonies as grounds for denaturalization. And once you denaturalize, ICE come to get you.
Hmm. Well, they gonna be out there. Hey, get it, blow a whistle, trying to save all of them. Especially first one, I want them to get is you'll have whatever her name is, Oma. She does not deserve to be in this country. She
Mm-mm.
does
Did you hear
not
what Trump
like this
said about her?
country. What?
Did you hear what Trump said about her? He said,
I
she's
did, but I can't remember.
horrible. He said, you know how he said she's horrible. She's worth $30 million and she's never had a job. She's the corrupt congressman.
Yeah, I heard him say something else too. Like she's just the worst of the worst, or something.
Hmm.
She's not a good person. For me, I agree with him with all that, but I have literally never heard her say anything good about being an American,
No,
about being proud to be an American, about being there's probably one, and I don't know how many people where you get the opportunity to be a part of our legislature, and you came over here at the age of 9 or 11 or whatever, and before you're 45 years old, you are able to literally sit in Capitol Hill and write laws and help write laws for this country. And you have the
hmm,
audacity to not say anything good about it, to not to not really to change anything about. Nobody's saying change your religion, nobody is saying change the way you want to carry yourself, but you have to become a part of this American society in the way that we as Americans have it. If you wanted to be just like you was in Somalia, now you grown, planes fly there, I'm sure every day you can go on your butt back.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep,
she
she
wants to
is.
go
She's
ahead.
an enemy within.
Yeah,
That's what she is.
you do not deserve
An enemy
to be
within.
sitting there. And I mean, I have not one, you're disrespectful to the president of the United States. You never call him President Trump. They used to they you remember they was fighting like crazy when people would just say Obama, oh, you need, he's President
Mm-hmm.
Obama, y'all ain't saying President Obama. Now the same people who was saying that are sitting here disrespecting this president. So what you need to say is, it's okay if you don't like the president, you ain't got to put president in front of his name, because if it's important, and it doesn't matter if you like the person or not. She be
Mm-hmm.
just
That's the
Trump,
title.
and then
I,
she's
I also think that she is, I think she's a national security threat and she
I
shouldn't be
do
in
too.
Congress. She's
I
a
do
national
too.
security threat.
It's
Because she hasn't shown herself to be friendly to the country, like the
mm-mm.
country,
Or
nothing
loyal.
at all. And so she's like she's a national security threat.
No, Lord, no. I have not seen her show a sign of loyalty at all to the United States of America and its citizens, not the
Mhm.
Somali citizens who have now become citizens. I'm saying the United States of America and what it was based on its Constitution and how we are and assimilate to what the United States of America is about. You can keep your stuff, but you need to
Mhm.
assimilate to what this is and what this was and what we have built it to be before you and your daddy chose to come here.
Mhm.
Period.
And if you don't like, you could have stayed where you was, but now you grown, you can go back.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You sitting here talking about your president
Go
that
make
is
Somalia great.
is the president. He your president. Make him be a president for real. Pack up you and your
Mhm.
little backpack and your little head scarves and all your stuff, and take yourself and your makeup that you're making yourself look 3 times lighter on, you and your little white husband, and go on back to Somali. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. So I appreciated when Trump said during his first term when he told us she can go back to Somalia and fix it and let us know how she did it. Go
Yeah,
back
you've
there and
learned
fix
so
it since you're
much. You're a
so
part of
smart
this.
and you know
Yeah.
so much.
You've
Go
learned all
use
this
some of that
about
stuff
governing, and
against you.
yeah, come on, girl, go on back. I'm sure they would love for you to come and help with your $30 million you now have, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
make but 100 and some thousand dollars a year. However,
Yep.
I knew you
That's
had brought
crazy.
this up to me. I know we have to end. So everybody, we have to end a little earlier today because my superstar co-host is going to be being featured on a live on TikTok today. So we want to make sure that she is able to, get herself digressed from this and be ready to give them the heat on her panel. But I know you brought up we're gonna do this and then we can do your I just can't, and then I'll do Mo's money moment and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But you brought this up, so I don't know if you got a chance to watch it. I didn't. We can watch a couple
I
minutes from
didn't because it ended right when I turned it on and I sent it to you and
it.
I went to listen. It was he was like, okay, now we're gonna adjourn. I was like, well, dang.
Okay. Well, I'm at the start. I think that. So let's see. Let me mute myself. Hold on.
Working, law-abiding, tax-paying citizens here inside of the United States. I've helped bring to light widespread fraud that's happening inside our nation, and we the people have had enough of our hard-earned money going towards fraudsters as if it's no big deal. As I speak here, I want to ask everyone a question. How much do we trust when we pay our taxes it's going to benefit our nation? People erupted during the Boston Tea Party over just a few percentages as they believed they were being taxed without representation. Nowadays, we have the representation, but do we trust our representatives? My name is Nick Shirley, and I made a 41-minute video that I posted on platforms like X and YouTube. My video received over 100 million views, and it created instant change within our government. As the federal government launched investigations and departments such as Health and Human Services froze over $185 million in child care funding until businesses can prove they are legitimate businesses. I actually became aware of the fraud that was happening in Minnesota in June of 2025 as I was there for a separate video, and Minnesotans started reaching out to me asking me if I was making a video on the fraud. I said, well, what fraud? And this lady, she was a real estate agent, and she says, well, I'm having a hard time selling my properties because people are curious about these assisted livings that are popping up next door to some of the houses that we're buying, or the home health care clinics that are popping up, and we don't know who's next to these houses that we're trying to sell. And I said, well, I'm not going to come and make a video if I don't have any proof. So therefore, I left Minnesota. And I continued to look for fraud in the best way I could. And as I was getting my own information, a man by the name of David reached out to me and he said, hey, I have been investigating this fraud for years now. I have been driving by these child care centers. I have never seen a single child, and I have received the information from the state of Minnesota as to how much money these places are receiving. I said, great, let me come to Minnesota and we'll make this video about potential fraud that was taking place inside of Minnesota. We go to a daycare, and I'm instantly surprised by what we see. We arrived and it was an industrialized building, and there was 2 daycares registered at that building. And the first thing I noticed is all the windows are blacked out, and there's no footprints in the snow of any children. There's no playgrounds or anything that would make it look like it's a child care. But above me, a sign read, open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. But there was nobody there. The doorbell did not even work. And then we continued to go to other daycares, and we noticed the same pattern. No children, blacked out windows, and one daycare, a learning center, spelled Quality Learning Center instead of Quality Learning Center. They had received $1.9 million, yet with that $1.9 million, they could not even spell leering right on their sign. Governor Walz has said he's been fighting fraud in Minnesota since 2019 and said the buck stops with him. However, how long would it take for you to notice $1 million leaving your bank account and not knowing where it's going? That's essentially what had been happening in Minnesota for years, as billions of dollars has been misplaced. And meanwhile, while people like Governor Tim Walz call people like me a white supremacist, delusional conspiracy theorist, he actually decided to drop out of re-election because I believe of how deep and extensive.
All right. Did he do a good job? And what you think about what he said? Did you hear me? You on mute.
Oops. I think he did a good job. He
I
did
can't
a
wait
good
to watch
job,
the rest.
especially to be so young. He's that's awesome. It's a big thing that's speaking for he's going to be in the congressional record forever.
Yes.
Yay. But I do think that maybe he
He
needs some
was in a
speech
cabinet meeting before, I
classes.
saw too.
Yeah, I think he may need some speech classes. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this though, I bet you when he was a little bitty boy, he sounds so adorable.
Yeah, you can hear his little voice. Yeah, you can tell it was one of them cute little
Yes, I
voices.
bet you he sounded so adorable when he talked. He probably just melted his mom's heart every time he talked to her.
Mhm. Look at you with a son. But all right, well, since we're going, you guys, you know, you anticipate, y'all can't wait for this. This is actually one of my favorite parts of our show as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and block my little face on out and let you guys get ready for the Stags I Just Can't moment. I can't wait to see what it is today. I'm gonna mute myself so you don't hear me laughing. All right, go ahead, Stag.
Okay. Okay, so this week's I can't moment is that I just cannot wrap my head around the concept of American citizens being okay with your government treating people who broke into the country or just shouldn't be here better than you American citizens. I just can't with it. I can't with the fake Black Panther um talking about that they're, an international whatever the fuck he said, right? I want to know where was he at when those children were being unalived by illegal aliens, when women were being raped and murdered by illegal aliens in this country. Even black ones, like where was he then? Where was that voice and all that vitriol that he has for ICE and the protection of illegal immigrants? Where was all of that at? Where was this vitriol for the illegal criminal aliens when they were taking resources in the black community? Where was he at then? Where was he at when they were letting Americans sleep on the streets and they went and built up shelters for them overnight just like that? Where were they then? I mean, I just can't, and to not have a problem with local officials not turning over criminals that are in the jail to ICE. Because y'all kept telling us, he said he was going after the criminals, the criminals, the criminals, right? That's what y'all kept saying. He said he was going after the criminals. Well, when they go to the jail to get them they won't turn them over to them. They won't honor the detainers so they can get the criminals out. And then when they go out into the neighborhood to get the criminals, you got these crazies out there ramming them with cars and blocking them in and blowing whistles. And I mean, y'all are such narcissists, and you are so on the wrong side of history. You are on the wrong side of history, and I hope y'all just get it together. Because at this point, America is exhausted of y'all. I hope they paying y'all well, because history is not gonna look kindly on y'all, and that's my moment.
Just talking. All right, y'all give it up for the Stags. I just can't moment. I love it. I love it. I love it. I knew you were going to. I knew you was gonna touch on that Black Panther Party just because I can't understand. You know, Huey Newton's actual family is like, dude, we coming for you because he would not be standing behind this. I think it was a niece. She was like, my uncle would not dare be sitting here standing behind this situation, and for you to even say what you're saying. And then the guy tried to say that they like the original Black Panther Party. No, you ain't, because you talking about the plight of all these other people. They weren't talking about that,
Well,
you know. But all right,
did
guys.
you
So
see
you,
the guy came out from what is supposed to be the original Black Panther Party? He said people were sending him emails and asking him what they stance was on it. Did you see that, Mo?
no, I just saw his niece, and she was on TikTok. Huey Newton's niece, she was on
I'll send it
TikTok.
to you and show it to you. Basically, he said that they ain't for that. He said they not risking life and limb for these people who ain't supposed to be here.
Ain't exactly.
Yeah,
Wouldn't do
yeah. I'll send
nothing.
it to you.
Wouldn't do nothing for us. All right. Well, we're going. You all know we generally end our show with us giving our own takes in our areas of expertise. So the next moment is going to be Mo's Money Minute. Now, this time, guys, I tried to put something together for y'all because y'all know I just be going off the whim. So we are going to go now. So, all right, family, it is Mo's Money Minute time, and it is tax refund season is here. Before you start spending that refund like it's free money, let's talk about how to move financially, okay? So, first, you got to handle business before pleasure. If you have high interest debt, credit cards, payday loans, buy now, pay later, the Klarna and the Firm and the Afterpay and Zip and all the other stuff they coming out with, use part of your refund to knock that down. That's an automatic return on your money. Second, pay yourself. Okay, you haven't worked all year to not get anything out of your tax refund. So if you don't have at least $1,000 set aside for emergencies, this is where you need to start. If you have a refund that is more than that, pull off $1,000. Start there because life happens. Life happens. And refunds are a perfect chance to build a cushion without stress. Third, catch up and then get ahead. Behind on rent, utilities, car notes, or insurance, you need to get current. Peace of mind is underrated, and stress, causes health issues, and financial stress is one of the number one things that happen for stress and that give you stress. So being as underrated and it's expensive, and especially when it's ignored. Fourth, invest in your future. That could be education, certification, tools for your business, or even starting a small investment account. Short term fun fades. Remember that. Short term fun fades. The key is in short term, does not last. And long term growth pays. So the longer you can have something, the more you can make from it, the more that you can build from it as well. And finally, enjoy some of it. As I said, I'm not saying don't treat yourself, but budget the treat. Joy is allowed, irresponsibility is optional, and I will say it ain't optional because you don't need to be irresponsible. Irresponsibility leads to problems, especially financially. Your tax refund isn't a bonus, it's an opportunity, guys. Use it like someone who's building wealth, not chasing moments. This has been your Mo's Money Minute, because smart money moves today create financial freedom tomorrow. All right, y'all. Yay! All righty.
You got this. That's your new tagline.
Yeah, I've been working, child.
I like that.
I've
I
been
like
working,
it.
child. I've been working. So, guys, like I told you, if you're watching, anyone's watching, make sure that if you're on TikTok, we have both our TikTok handles down below. But make sure you follow 92 Stag. She is about to be live. You'll be able to go on. If you follow her, you'll see where she's live at. They're going to be. Do you know what you all are talking about today, or y'all just doing a
No, it's just
reunion? A reunion.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
a talk fest. We just talk.
All right. All right.
Talk
Well,
about what's going on, what everybody think about it,
okay.
giving our thoughts.
Well, as always, guys, we appreciate all of our supporters. We are growing. We are being like that little engine that could every week. We are gaining more and more subscribers, more and more viewers, and we could not do it without the help of you guys, our constant supporters, those who come all the time, those who have this is your first time watching us. We appreciate you. All we ask is that you continue to support us, continue to share, subscribe, and if you want to buy Stag a coffee, you can do that. Oh, I need to correct that. I will. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize I didn't correct it. If you want to buy Stag a coffee, Stag, what is your tag to buy you a coffee? Let me see.
Danny Boy. That's DANNIBOI 1974.
BOI 1974.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look at that. So if you want to buy Stag a coffee, you can hit her up at the tag you see below. And if you want to buy me a tea, I don't like coffee. You want to buy me a tea, you can hit me up at the tag below as well. We at the Proud Mary Podcast, where we give it to you nice when we can, yet rough when we must. We appreciate you all. Stag, what do you have to say before we get out of here?
Appreciate everybody for coming in and listening to what we have to say. It is a blessing that, people, even want to hear what your thoughts are on different topics and stuff. So I appreciate everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share it out. Get more people in here so they can hear some of this stuff that we got to say and catch up on some news. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. And I
Uh,
appreciate you too, Mo.
yes, same
Best
here.
engineer, producer.
Girl, look, I'm getting better, but then as soon as I think I'm getting better, here goes something go wrong. Well, you see, our manager said we need to get a Venmo. You know, he always on here making sure we we stay on point. Thank you, manager. We appreciate you and everybody else who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. We will see you guys next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Bye.